Hey, this is Double D. This is a follow-up video for the Jeb Stuart sword hanger that I found. And this here is Jeb Stuart. James Ewell Brown Jeb Stuart. He was born February 6, 1833, and he passed May 2nd or May 12th, 1864. Alright? Mr. Jeb Stuart was a U.S. Army officer from Virginia and a Confederate States Army general during the Civil War. He was known to his friends as Jeb from the initials of his given names. Stuart was a cavalry commander known for his mastery of reconnaissance and the use of cavalry in support of offensive operations, while he cultivated a cavalier image. Red line, gray cape, yellow sash, hat cocked to the side with an ostrich plume, red flower in his lapel, often sporting cologne. His serious work made him the trusted eyes and ears of Robert E. Lee's army and inspired Southern morale. Stuart graduated from West Point in 1854 and served in Texas and Kansas with the U.S. Army, a veteran of the frontier conflicts with Native Americans and the violence of Bleeding Kansas. He participated in the capture of John Brown at Harper's Ferry. Resigning when his home state of Virginia seceded, he served first under Stonewall Jackson in the Shenandoah Valley, but then in increasingly important cavalry commands of the Army of Northern Virginia, playing a role in all of that Army's campaigns until his death. He established a reputation as an audacious cavalry commander, and on two occasions, during the Peninsula Campaign and the Maryland Campaign, circumnavigated the U.S. Army of the Potomac, the Potomac River, bringing fame to himself and embarrassment to the North. At the Battle of Chancellorsville, he distinguished himself as a temporary commander of the wounded Stonewall Jackson's infantry groups. Arguably, Stuart's most famous campaign, Gettysburg, was marred when he was surprised by a Union cavalry attack at the Battle of Brandy Station, and by his separation from Lee's army for an extended period, leaving Lee unaware of the Union troop movements and arguably contributing to the Confederate defeat at the Battle of Gettysburg. Stuart received significant criticism from the Southern press as well as the post-bellum proponents of the Lost Cause movement, but historians failed to agree on whether Stuart's exploit was entirely the fault of his judgment or simply bad luck and Lee's less than explicit orders. During the Overland Campaign in 1864, Union Major General Philip Sheridan's cavalry launched an offensive to defeat Stuart, and he was mortally wounded at the Battle of Yellow Tavern. His wife wore black for the rest of her life in remembrance of her perished husband. So he accomplished quite a bit. He unfortunately died at age 31, but he was a major general for the Confederate States Army from 1861 until his death in 1864. Here's the piece right here that I found, and I want to show you the originals. So if we put these bad boys together, you can see this one's been bent out. And there's the leather attachment that they would use on their belts to hold the scabbards for their swords. This here is the 1879 penny I found at the same place. And how ironic, I found two 1879 pennies today, once in March when I first started, and again in August on the same property where I found this piece. Hey, what a man. He invented this piece well before the Indian Wars, and this piece was used by soldiers in the Indian Wars and in the Civil War, and not just soldiers on one side of the war. Both Confederate and Union had copies of this design. And what a guy. Jeb Stuart. Here's some heavy cavalry saber with hangers. You can see this is about what it would be like. It would support the scabbard sheath, and it would dangle on their side. And if they needed in close combat, it was right there with them. Alright, so I want to do this update video and tell you a little bit about what I know about this gentleman and what I know about his patent. I'm Delaware Digger, and I'll see you at the next find.